In my last video, I have explained about basic concept of chromatography. In this video, I am going to explain about gas chromatography principle and as well as instrumentation of gas chromatography. Let's see. First principle. The principle involved in gas liquid chromatography is partition coefficient. This is the important thing. What is the principle involved in gas chromatography? That is partition coefficient. Here I use the term gas liquid chromatography. Here we have gas solid chromatography and gas liquid chromatography. Here the gas solid chromatography principle is adsorption and gas liquid chromatography principle is partition. Here the main thing is in the gas solid chromatography stationary phase is solid in nature. Here in gas liquid chromatography the stationary phase is liquid in nature. Apart from here among these gas liquid chromatography is mostly used. That's why here oftenly we use gas liquid chromatography as gas chromatography. Okay, the principle involved in gas liquid chromatography is partition coefficient. Okay, mobile phase is gas and stationary phase used as a liquid which is coated as solid support. Mobile phase used as a gas. Okay, here the term gas indicates that is a mobile phase. Okay, the stationary phase is a liquid which is coated as solid support. It acts as a stationary phase. That you keep in mind. Okay, here the mixture of components to be separated are converted into the vapor form. And mixed with gaseous mobile phase. This is the important thing. Here the mixture, chromatography is nothing but separation of mixture of components into individual components. Here the mixture of components are to be separated. First has to be converted into the vapor form. First they have to convert it into vapor form. Then only it has to be mixed with the gaseous mobile phase. This is the important thing. In which chromatography technique the sample or mixture of components are converted into vapor form or volatile form means then you need to choose gas chromatography. Okay, before mixing with gaseous mobile phase, they have to be converted into vapor form. That is the thing. Okay, then the components which is more soluble in stationary phase travel slower and dilute later. The component which is less soluble in stationary phase travels faster and diluted fast. The thing is, which is more soluble in stationary phase? Nothing but if the component, okay, if the component having more soluble in stationary phase, nothing but less soluble in mobile phase. So here, if the component having more soluble in stationary phase means it will mostly adhere to the stationary phase. It will bind to the stationary phase, and slowly it will elute from the columns. So that's why it travels slower and elute later. The component which is less soluble in stationary phase, nothing but less soluble in stationary phase, nothing but more soluble in mobile phase. So that's why it travels faster and dilutes fast. This is the thing. And no two components have same partition coefficient towards stationary phase and mobile phase. Here among the two components, no two components having same kind of partition coefficient towards stationary phase and mobile phase. Based on the partition coefficient, two components will be separated because there is a difference between the partition coefficient related to the stationary phase and as well as mobile phase. That's right. This is the principle. Then what is meant by partition coefficient? The partition coefficient nothing but ratio of amount of solute in stationary phase to the ratio of amount of solute in mobile phase. That is the thing. Okay, partition coefficient equal ratio of amount of solute in stationary phase by ratio of amount of solute in mobile phase. This is the partition coefficient. This is the principle. Main thing is partition coefficient. The compound should be converted into the vapor form before mixing with gaseous mobile phase. These are important things. And next one, requirements of components to be analyzed by gas chromatography. Here the component should possess two requirements. It should possess two qualities. Then only the compounds can be analyzed by gas chromatography. What are those? First one, the compound should be volatile in nature. Second one, it should have thermostability. Let's say one by one. Volatility. Here, unless compound is volatile, it cannot mix it with gaseous mobile phase. Hence, volatility is important. If the component is not volatile, so it cannot mix it with the mobile phase. Means it cannot mix it with the gaseous mobile phase. That's why volatility is important. Same thing I explained that in this principle, the component should be converted into vapor form. Why they are converted into vapor form? Because of it should be mixed with gaseous mobile phase. In the vapor form only it can be mixed, otherwise it cannot be mixed. Okay, volatility is the important thing. Then thermostability. Second property is thermostability. All the components are not in the form of volatile. Okay, there are some solids and liquids. They should be converted to the vapor. Okay, they should be converted to the vapor. For this, they have to heat it at high temperature. At this temperature, they should be stable and components cannot be analyzed by gas chromatography if they are thermally unstable. See, all the components may not be in the form of volatile form or vapor form. Here some compounds in the form of solids and some compounds in the form of liquid. How we can analyze these compounds, solids and liquid means, here these compounds should first in the gas chromatography, these compounds should be converted into vapor form. Here gaseous compound cannot be converted to vapor form because all these are gases is a vapor form only. If the component to be analyzed is solid or liquid in nature means these have to be converted into vapor form. Okay, then how we can convert it into vapor form? For this we have to heat it the compound at higher temperature. Here the solids or liquids have to heat it at higher temperature to convert it into vapor form. Here at this higher temperature, the solid or liquid up to the temperature, the solid or liquid should be stable. Okay, thermally stable. If the thermally stable. Otherwise, if the components cannot be analyzed by gas chromatography, if they are thermally unstable. Here, suppose we are maintaining 250 degrees centigrade means, okay, if the solid compounds are liquid are converted into vapor form at 250, for example, 250 degrees centigrade, at that temperature the compound should be stable. If it is not stable, if it is degraded by temperature means we cannot analyze by GC unless the components are thermally unstable. If the components are thermally unstable means we cannot analyze by GC. That is the thing. Okay, these two are required: volatility and thermostability. And this is about principle of gas chromatography. Then instrumentation. Okay, then instrumentation. Here gas chromatography consists following parts. These are the parts: carrier gas tank, this one carrier gas tank, and flow regulator or flow meter. You can see here flow regulator or flow meter, this one. Okay, then sample injection system or sample inlet. Here is the sample injection system or sample inlet. Then column. Here this is the column. Okay, then detector. This is the detector. Next one, recorder. These six for the gas chromatography consist. Here among these are the main thing are carrier gas, column, detector. These are the main important parts of the gas chromatography. Okay, here first I will directly explain the working principle by the diagram. You can see here gas chromatography. Here first one is the gas tank, carrier gas tank. Here in this I mentioned that hydrogen or nitrogen or air or carbon dioxide, etc. Here these kind of gases can be used as a mobile phase. Either we may use hydrogen cylinder or nitrogen gas tank or air gas tank or carbon dioxide or argon or like that, or helium. Okay, or helium. We may use this kind of gas as a mobile phase. Here through this gas inlet, this is the gas inlet. Through this gas inlet, it will enter into this oven. This is thermostatically controlled oven. Why? What is the importance of thermostatically controlled oven? Whatever the sample taken solid or liquid, in this oven it will be converted into vapor form. That is thermostatically controlled oven. Temperature will be controlled, under the control. Okay, the sample will be converted into vapor form. Here through the gas inlet, the sample will be will be reached to here. In this oven, here coil form, column will be there. This is the coil form. Okay, column will be in the form of coil. Okay, then what will happen here? Sample inlet. Through we will inject this sample whenever at the injection point only. At the injection point, whenever we are injecting the sample at the injection point, the solids or liquid sample will completely convert it into vapor form. Will completely convert it into vapor form, and they can mix with gaseous mobile phase. Then they can then after only they can easily pass through the columns. Okay, here at the injection point only the sample converted into vapor form at the injection point. Okay, after converted to vapor form, the sample is mixed with the gases. Okay, gaseous mobile phase. Then both of them mixed form will transfer through column and finally reach to the detector. In this column, if the sample having here the column is packed with the stationary phase, means adsorbent. If the column in the column, if the sample having more solubility towards stationary phase, it retains there and slowly travels through the column. If the component having less solubility towards travels stationary phase, it will elute and it will fast. It will elute faster. It will come along with mobile phase. It will come faster. Okay, that is second one. This is the thing. In the column only, the separation will be takes place based on the partition coefficient of the sample. And flow controller and flow controller. Here name itself indicates flow controller. It controls the flow of carrier gas. Flow controller regulator controls the flow of carrier gas. And detector will detect the components. Here in the record we will get the peak in the form of retention times. In the form of retention time, we can measure, we can denote with RT. Okay, based on the retention time, the compound can be identified. Okay, retention time. This is about working principle of gas chromatography instrumentation. Let's see one by one. First part is carrier gas. Okay, here carrier gas should be maintained at high pressure, at least 40 to 50 Pascal. Okay, high pressure. The choice of carrier gas decides the efficiency of separation. The choice of hydrogen or helium or nitrogen or air or carbon dioxide, various carrier gases have been used. Which has to be used that decides the efficiency of separation, because it affects the both column performance and as well as detector performance. The choice of carrier gas deciding the column and detector performance. That is important. What is the purpose of carrier gas? The name itself indicates carrier means it carries the sample. Okay, the carrier gases carries the sample through column, carries the sample through the column. Means both are mixing, na? That's right. The transport of sample through column to the detector. Purpose of carrier gas is transport of sample through the column to the detector. And let's see one by one. First carrier gas is helium. Okay. What are the properties of helium? It has good thermal conductivity. Low density, inertness, allows great flow rate. And most widely used carrier gas is helium, but somewhat expensive. The properties of helium are good thermal conductivity, low density, inertness, allows great flow rate, most widely used, and but it is expensive. Okay, expensive one. Second carrier gas is hydrogen. The properties of hydrogen are it is also having good thermal conductivity and low density. These two properties are similar to that helium. Good thermal conductivity and low density. Then it is useful. Hydrogen carrier gas is useful when flame ionization detector or thermal conductivity detector used. Here we have some kinds of gas chromatography detector. The hydrogen gas is most useful if we are using flame ionization detector or thermal conductivity detector. Okay. Then the demerits of hydrogen carrier gas is if reacted with unsaturated organic compound. This is the important thing. Hydrogen carrier gas reacted with unsaturated organic compounds. Second demerit is it creates fire and inflammable hazard. Okay, these are two demerits. Here the hydrogen carrier gas properties are very important. Most of the time it has been asked in GPAT. Here the question will be asked that among the following carrier gas, which carrier gas will be reacted with the unsaturated organic compounds, means hydrogen. Which carrier gas will produce fire, or which carrier gas having inflammable hazard, that means hydrogen. Okay, which carrier gas have been used in case of flame ionization detector or thermal conductivity detector? Then hydrogen. Hydrogen properties are very important in case of GPAT point. Then nitrogen, it is inexpensive and easily available and with reduced sensitivity. Then along with this, sometimes air, argon and carbon dioxide are also used as a carrier gas. This is about carrier gas. What are the ideal properties of gas? First one, it is easily available. The carrier gas should be easily available. Second property, it should be inexpensive. And third property, it is having high purity. And fourth property, it should be suitable to the detector used. Whatever the detector is, it should be suitable. Then it should have low risk of explosion. And next property, and it gives best column performance with consistence with required speed of analysis. Best column performance consistent with required speed of analysis. These are ideal properties of the gas. Okay, this is about carrier gas. Next one, the second part is flow regulator and flow meter. The regulator is a indicates it is used to control the flow of carrier gas. Flow meter nothing but used to measure the flow of gas. Okay, per minute measure the flow of gas. Then sample inlet. We have three kinds of sample, either maybe gas or liquid or solid sample. If you are analyzing gas sample, it can be injected by the valve devices. If you are analyzing liquid sample, it can be injected by hypodermic syringe through self-sealing rubber septum. If the sample is solid, then injected by septum devices. Septum devices. This is about flow regulators. Next part of gas chromatography instrumentation is column. It is the most important part because this is important part of gas liquid chromatography because it decides the efficiency of separation. In the column only separation of two compounds will be takes place. That's why it is important. And it is made up of either stainless steel columns or glass columns are we often use in gas chromatography. Sometimes it is made up of polytetrafluoroethylene. Okay, polytetrafluoroethylene (PTF). Okay, then types of columns very important. Depending on its use and depending on its nature, here columns are divided into several types. Depending on its use means analytical column first one. Second one is preparative column. Depending on its use means whether we are using for small amount of sample analysis or we are using for large amount of sample analysis. Based on that, we will use analytical column or preparative column. Depending on its nature means here three columns are divided into three types: packed column, open tubular column, supported coated open tubular column. Okay, depending on its nature. Packed here nature means availability. It is packing, that is the nature. Open form, open tubular, and supported coated open tubular form. So depending upon nature, these are three types. Let's see one by one. First one, analytical column. As I told you that based on nature, depending on its use. Okay, analytical column, preparative column. What is meant by analytical column? If your small amount of sample can be loaded on this column, analytical purpose means generally small amount of sample is required. If you have on this column, only small amount of sample can be loaded. That is only useful for analysis of small amount of sample. Okay, generally used in gas chromatography. Okay, analytical columns are generally used in gas chromatography. The length of analytical column is 1 to 1.5 meters. Outer diameter is 3 to 6 millimeter. You can see length is 1 to 1.5 meter. That much small because small amount of sample can be loaded. Then preparative column means it is opposite to analytical. Means high amount of sample can be loaded onto this column. High amount. Whenever we are analyzing high amount, then we will use preparative column. Length you can see 3 to 6 meters, somewhat large as compared to analytical. Here only 1 to 1.5. Here 3 to 6 meters. Outer diameter is 6 to 9 millimeter. This is about depending on its use. Then depending on its nature, first one packed column. The name itself indicates packed. Generally columns are packed with stationary phase or adsorbents. Okay. Here packed columns are prepared by packing metal or glass tubing with granular stationary phase. These are generally prepared by packing with granular stationary phase. Okay. Here, what are the advantages of packed column? Because porous polymers are used as a packing material. What are the stationary phase? Okay. What are the adsorbents means? Porous polymers are used as a packing material. Here, most of the porous polymers are stable up to 250 degrees centigrade. Here, these porous polymers can be stable up to 250 degrees centigrade. It cannot be degraded, right? That's why. No column bleeding. Here in this packed column, bleeding cannot be occurred. If it is bleeding means we cannot get accurate results, we cannot get accurate separation. That's why there is no column bleeding, and that is the advantage. And no absorption of polar compounds. No absorption of polar compounds such as LU. They are eluted rapidly as sharp symmetric peak. We can easily get a sharp symmetrical peak. Okay, and polar polymer beads are mechanically strong. these porous polymers are mechanically stable. Okay, they cannot be degraded. There is no any cracks formed, and these are used in preparative and as well as analytical purpose. This is the most important thing. These packed columns can be used for preparative purpose and analytical purpose. Means whenever we are analyzing small amount of sample, okay, that it can be used as a analytical. Whenever we are loading high amount of sample and analyzing high amount of sample, means that it can be act as a preparative, useful for both preparative and as well as analytical purpose. The retention data are highly reproducible. Retention data are highly reproducible. These are the advantages of packed column. Mostly porous polymers are used as a packing material. Okay, this is about packed. Okay, in this column only the station phase has been packed. Next one, open tubular column. Okay, the name itself indicates it is not packed, it is open. Okay, it is also known as capillary column or Golay column. Open tubular columns are also known as capillary column or Golay column. The names are very important, capillary or Golay column. Okay, here open tubular column are made up of stainless steel only. Stainless steel only. Here this open tubular column consists long capillary tubing. Okay, this consists long capillary tubing having uniform narrow internal diameter. Okay, this open tubular column having long capillary tubing having narrow and uniform narrow internal diameter. Then the inner wall of tube is coated with liquid phase. Okay, inner wall of tube is coated with liquid phase. Okay, that is the important thing. Here this open tubular column offers least resistant to the flow of carrier gas as compared to the packed column. Okay, here it offers very least resistant to the flow of carrier gas. Means if the column is open tubular column, if this column is open tubular column, means here carrier gas can easily pass through this column. If here because it offers very least resistant. Here stationary phase of less resistant towards carrier gas as compared to packed column. If it is packed column, means it offers more resistance to the gas mobile phase. If it is having more resistance, means it unable to flow through the column. That is the important thing. It offers least resistant to the flow of carrier gas as compared to the packed column, because due to this property they are most efficient and widely used. They are most efficient and widely used as compared to packed column. You keep in mind. Then supported coated open tubular column. Supported coated open tubular column. It is also open, but supported coated. We have to support the coated material is there. Okay. So it is improved version of Golay column or open tubular column. Okay. Here the supported coated open tubular column is, it is the improved version of open tubular column or Golay column or capillary column. Okay. These columns have more sample capacity and also preferred for trace analysis. More sample, nothing but preparative purpose and also preferred for trace analysis, nothing but analytical. It is useful for both preparative and as well as analytical purpose. Here you can see supported coated open tubular column. In this open tubular column, what we have it is coated with you can see here coated with the liquid phase, right? Here coated with the liquid phase. Additionally, supported coated material is there in this. You can see these columns are made by depositing micron size of porous layer of supported material on the inside of wall. Inside of the wall capillary column, then coating with the thin film of liquid phase. You can see first in this column, first in the supported coated open tubular column, first we have to deposit porous layer of supported material. Okay, this is here the porous layer supported material. Porous layer acts as a supporting material. First we have to deposit small size, micron size porous layer material deposit into this column. After depositing, then this has to be coated with thin film of liquid phase. After depositing this porous layer material, this porous layer material has to be coated with thin film of liquid phase. This is the thing. Okay. This is about supported coil. It also offers least resistance to the flow of carrier gas. Okay, like open tubular column. You can see open tubular column and supported coated open tubular columns are most widely used columns. And as I given that some of the stationary phase examples and the maximum temperature. First one, squalene, it can stable up to 140 to 150 degrees centigrade. Second example for stationary phase is high molecular weight paraffin, it can stable up to 250 to 300 degrees centigrade. Third example is silicon oil, it can stable up to 180 to 220 degrees centigrade. And Carbovax 20, also known as PEG, polyethylene glycol, 200 to 250. And last one, silicon rubber gum, 300 to 350. Some of the examples of this stationary phase. Okay, here detector is the next part is detector, gas chromatography detector, that I can explain in my next video. The gas chromatography detectors I will explain in my next video. Thank you very much.